I'm Jake Sanderson.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, Sens fans? Welcome to another edition of the live watch party presented by the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm your host, Jack Richardson, set to bring you reaction to the Ottawa Senators visiting the Florida Panthers in a must-win hockey game for the Ottawa Senators. We are down to single-digit amount of games left in the season. The playoff race is heated. We'll be keeping an eye on the out-of-town scoreboard tonight. Lots of teams of interest in action. Can't wait to walk through this again. I'm having a blast doing these down the stretch. Last week was amazing. The ups, the downs, the in-betweens last week. I think it's just a little bit of a microcosm of what's to come in the next few weeks. So folks, buckle in, get seated, get your popcorn. We will react to this one. I think the Sens will come out with a big effort. They are heavy favorites in Florida tonight. We'll get to all of that briefly. Before we get started though, want to let you know, as always, this episode is brought to you by our friends at the Glebe Central Pub, the best spot to watch a Sens game, go have a drink, go have a couple drinks with your friends on a weekend night. Live music on Saturday nights is a perfect way, I think, to kind of have a good out on the town Ottawa night. But the best part, every Sens game, home games, they send a shuttle from the Glebe Central Pub right to the Canadian Tire Center, and then you get right back downtown after the game. It is the best way to get out and away from the CTC. Can't recommend it enough. So if you are on that bus, tag at Sens Central on Twitter. Let us know you're taking it. And when you get to the GCP, let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. Take a picture with that Locked On GCP jersey. We love seeing that. And I hope everyone knows that the vibes are free at the GCP. All right, folks, big one here in Florida. They're all big. I've been saying that for a month, I feel like. I was talking to one of my buddies today. Every single game feels like it's a must-win down the stretch. And while that may not technically and mathematically actually be the case right now, like the Sens could technically lose this game in regulation and then still make the playoffs. But because they still control their own fate, if they were to win out every single game this season, they would be in the playoffs. That makes these games all that more important. I don't believe Columbus is playing tonight. I will go over that in just a second. But before we start, we need to talk about Linus Ullmark, who obviously the headline coming out of Tampa Bay was Linus Ullmark, even though he did not play. Travis Green saying post-game that he wants to play Ullmark every night, and Linus needed a rest. I believe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it was along those lines. And the wording's important because I want to talk about that before we get started here. And should mention, Linus Ullmark is getting the start tonight in Florida. But I wanted to talk about that just because it's been such a polarizing debate over the last 2 days, I'd say. Just got out of hand in some ways. Because let's be honest here, we don't know why he was given a rest, and you can point it to two ways here. You could say that Travis Green was very forthcoming and like gave us more than we needed to know, but he also didn't give us enough. Because was this a physical rest? Was this a mental health reset for Linus Ullmark? And because of how his season has gone, because of how 2026 has gone, he took all of January off essentially for a mental health leave, which he was public about, very open about, and commendably so when he did that. But because of that, there's been a few instances lately now where he has the stomach flu last second. Something like this pops up where it raises those questions of whether or not that was the case and that was why he was sitting. And I think it's just imperative to not assume things. But again, when the situation is this dire, when the points are that important, and when he's playing that well, let's keep in mind, he has been playing excellent hockey, his best hockey of the season, has a 9-17 over his last 6 starts. When all of a sudden in a big game against a divisional rival, a potential playoff matchup on the road, when you're a depleted blue line, Linus Ullmark is not starting on a Saturday afternoon, it raises alarms. And I think my stance on it is that no fan should be shamed or should be chastised for being unhappy that he wasn't in the crease. There's a level of respect, obviously, in my opinion. Like there's a reason, there's a way you can cross the line when it comes to a lot of that stuff that personally I just wouldn't do. But I get the frustration, man. I get it. He is the starting goalie. He is the star goalie. It's not just the starter. He's a elite starter in the NHL when he plays. So I understand the frustration if it's just he needed a rest. When you look around at some of the other guys on the team. Now, all of a sudden, too, it just puts all this pressure on tonight for Linus Ullmark. If he can come out and just continue what he was doing Thursday, no one will question Saturday because you'll say, you know what? He knows his body best. He knew what he needed, and he's back in doing his thing, getting the Sens wins, getting big points down the stretch. He's going to play a lot of hockey, you would assume, in the next few weeks again. And if they get in the playoffs, he'll be playing every other night. So if he needs a day to be like, look, guys, I don't have it today. I need a rest. I'm tired. Fine. That's a separate conversation. If it's the mental health aspect, I think that's when it becomes a bit finicky because obviously you want him to be in the right mindset. You want his head to be in a good space. And I know that there are going to be people who roll their eyes at that. There are going to be people who say that that's ridiculous. You know, there's going to be a level of man up to what people are saying. And I do understand that. I'm not necessarily saying I believe it because I don't think that's where I land. But at the same time, it's about the guys in the room for me. As a fan of this team, watching how they've been grinding all season, and the fact that goaltending has been a story all season, it's just compounded into this playoff race that if their starter isn't mentally right and not playing, it's a frustrating thing to wrap your head around as a fan, as a player, and as anyone following this hockey team. So I think that's what this whole conversation developed into, in my opinion, when, again, all we know is he just needed a rest. Didn't say it was a mental rest, physical rest, whatever it is. I don't know if I was even going anywhere with that. I just wanted to get my 2 cents out. I kind of stayed out of it as much as I could on Twitter because Twitter is just a cesspool when it comes to this stuff, and it's a back and forth debate. I totally understand the frustrations. I'm going to have Callum Fraser join me in the first intermission, as always, for road games. Kind of getting a limited number here because after this game, I think the Sens have 2 road games left. 6 of their last 8 games are at home, which will be something we discuss as well. Pilsy will join me in the second period, but Callum and I are definitely going to talk about Ullmark, hopefully, obviously, depending on how his first period goes here. But I just wanted to talk about that because, again, like there are a lot of factors that we can talk about with Ullmark and his leave of absence at some point this season that he took and why he even had to come out and explain what it was. Like, there's a world where we don't know why he was on leave, right? And then this is happening. But we know now because of his choice. He decided to come out and do that. And again, I commend him for it. I just wanted to point out that the only reason that is a topic and something that was pointed out to is because of the history and because of what he's been through this season publicly with this fan base. And quite frankly, I think the fans have been extremely accepting of him up to this point. I feel like Saturday was a bit of a breaking point. Points are on the line. I'm not trying to say the hockey is more important than anything, but like I'm saying, I don't think fans should be chastised for caring that their starting goalie was not in net for a huge game like that. So that's where I land on it. I know that people are going to have their opinions on either way here. I might have just done a little fence sitting there, and I think that's kind of who I am. I like to fence sit. I'm a former reporter at heart. That's what I do. So I think just if he, like, I do believe it. If he plays a great game again tonight, I truly don't think Saturday will be an issue. If they miss by a point or two, maybe, but we can go down a laundry list of games that they've blown or points that they let slip away. And Saturday to me will not be at the top of that list whatsoever, because who knows if they even would have won that game with Ullmark between the pipes. Now on to tonight. They are playing a broken, depleted, tired, tanking Florida Panthers team twice now. They've got them twice in the last 9 games of the season. Have to take advantage. They have to take advantage. It's not just that they're out of it, like they just haven't had a good season, the Panthers. They just haven't been as good. They just failed to get traction at any point this season, and they've shut down guys. Reinhart, Marchand, Barkov didn't even touch the ice this season. They've got big names out of the lineup. Lundell, another one, huge piece of their team. Bobrovsky's not even playing tonight. So they are a team that is not trying to push here. They are in coast mode, get to the summer, and they deserve a long offseason, quite frankly, the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. But at the same time, they are the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. So it's not a team you can take lightly. I actually think it's a great spot for the Sens because they need a bit of a wake-up game, need to get back to their game offensively. And I kind of feel like this could be a good spot for that. I know the Panthers are still the Panthers. They're a tough team to play. You're on the road. Forsling and Ekblad are still there. So Timmy's going to get that matchup. But they're starting Danil Tarasov, who is not their starter. Like I mentioned, he's really struggled this season. His save percentage is actually better than Ullmark's right now, but his goals against average is very high. He's just seen a lot more shots than the Sens give up. So I just expect this to be a good spot for Ottawa. And let's see how they do, because again, it's must win. I'm ready to push panic button on their playoff chances if they do not make it, or if they don't win tonight. I'll put it that way. I'd say regulation wins aren't like paramount. They don't need regulation wins because they have the tiebreaker over everyone. But the more you can get, if you're going to win, you'd rather be in regulation. Just kind of separate yourselves. And if people are kind of unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, the regulation wins are the tiebreaker, and the Sens have more than just about everyone around them. Like, they actually, I think they have the third or fourth most in the Eastern Conference in total. So that's good. When the Sens are that tight, it means that when they're chasing a team by 2 points, they don't need 3 points to pass them. They don't need a third game or a second game. They could do it in one night. And that night is tonight. Columbus could lose tonight. I'm just going to go through the out-of-town scoreboard here very quickly just to see who's playing. We got the Islanders and the Sabres. Islanders on the road. The Stars and the Bruins. Red Wings and Penguins. Flyers and Capitals. The Flyers are all of a sudden an important team to keep an eye on here. Oh, it's 1-0 Florida. The game started 8 seconds in. 1-0 Panthers. Noah Gregor. I'm going through all the games that matter, and the Sens just gave up a goal. Oh my God. That's a disaster. Ullmark, what's he doing? Okay. 1-0 Panthers. Well, I'm just going to not go through the out-of-town scoreboard just yet, because it won't matter. If the Sens lose this game, they are down 1-0 earlier than they were up 1-0 in Tampa, if you can believe it. Just a pathetic goal against. And to me, that's on the goalie. No communication with Spence. That's on Ullmark. 1-0 Cats. Wow. What are they dialoguing here? What just happened? Did they give Pinto a 5? Looks like Pinto just cross-checked Nosek in the face, and they were reviewing it for a major. Okay. Hell of a start for all the wrong reasons for the Ottawa Senators. I think they're calling it a 5 to review it, but if Pinto is out of this game, let's see this. One cross-check. I don't think that's a 5. I don't think he hits him hard enough, right? Already down 1. Could be going on a 5-minute penalty kill 15 seconds into this game. I don't think this can be a 5. I was just trying to go through the out-of-town scoreboard and try and keep track of all the games we need to like keep an eye on here. And the Sens are down 1-0 on a weird bounce and no communication with Spence and Ullmark. That's just that to me. That's just Ullmark, man. Like, just unacceptable. Like, So Nosek is like on the bench. I don't know if you can see him there. That should not determine the severity if it's an injury or not, but I would be stunned if this is a 5. Two minutes for high sticking. Okay. Still not good taking a penalty like that for Pinto, but glad it's not a 5 at least. I don't know. And the Panthers to the power play. 15 seconds in, a chance to go up 2. This could be bad, folks. This could be a bad game. PK's got to come up big. 15 seconds in. Got to keep this a 1-goal game. What a disaster of a start. That's crazy. There's a good face-off win. I wasn't even watching. I didn't even know the game started. I thought they were showing a highlight, and I watched them celebrate. Brutal. Nice play by Greg there. Clevin on the forecheck on the PK. Timmy is back to his old tape job. Just noticed that. I don't know if he did that last game, but I'm just noticing it now. Interesting. Here's Seth Jones wide open. Back door. They score. 2-0 Panthers. 2-0 Cats. A minute and 6 seconds in. It is 2-0 Florida. 2 shots, 2 goals. Ullmark has yet to make a save. Brutal. Easy entry, wide open. I mean, I'm speechless. I'll find something to say. Off Ullmark skating in. What a brutal way to start that game. Nightmare. Two shots, 2 goals. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. What an embarrassing start. Yak just had a good shot there. It's a bad penalty from Pinto too to go on the power play that after getting scored on. This is embarrassing. Got to wake up. I don't know what happened on this entry. Matt and Paolo went up high. Just brutal. Wow. This is a must-win game. Must-win game, and they're down 2-0, minute and 6 seconds in. I said right before he would help his case by playing well tonight for how Saturday went down, and he just didn't look ready on either of those goals, to be honest with you. I'm not saying the second one's on him. That's the team kind of getting carved up, but that first goal is a back-breaking feeling on that bench. 8 seconds in, and your goalie kind of doesn't really look sharp or connected. Just so concerning on so many levels, man. Now they're chasing the game big time. And I'm so down because they don't come back often, like at all. I look up their record when they've given up the first goal. Like, it's not good. And I'm fuming. This feels more like the way these watch parties started. I remember this feeling. The Panthers are just icing it over and over again. Still just 2 shots. And Yakimchuk might have just hit the post. He looks pretty good offensively early. I mean, they're down 2-0 before he touches the ice. So he should play a good amount. Chat's just on fire, and I know who we're talking about here, and this will be discussed. Don't worry. I'm just trying to watch here so I don't say something mid-play while something's happening. And also trying to wrap my head around that start for that particular player. So brutal. I'm actually thinking more about the second one now, and like I'd like a save. They're pushing it 5-on-5. It's good pressure here, back-to-back shifts. Let's see. See what they bring. I want to see those goals again, but I know that the first one, like Spence is also to blame. But yeah, like we're Ullmark just shoveled it up the wall and gave it away, and now the Panthers have possession. They send it out. Still just 2 shots apiece. There's a save. It's still loose. Nice play by Brady. It's loose. Good curl and drag there from Tkachuk. And Yak gets that through. Might be 3 shots already for Yakimchuk. Or at least 2. I mean, it was a sloppy power play goal against there for the penalty kill, but like I don't think they look bad early here. So whatever that means for how we're going to react to this, like they're pushing for the most part. And Sens just took another penalty. So back to the penalty kill for the Sens. Zub takes a high sticking penalty. Maybe they don't look good. This is a disaster. It's not really a high stick on Matthew Tkachuk, but he sells it. Oh well. Wow. I don't think that hit him, to be quite honest. Should we check the out of town scoreboard? Feel worse about ourselves if it's bad? 2-0 Penguins over the Red Wings, if that feels good for anyone. Bet you the Islanders, Bruins, and Blue Jackets are looking at the Sens, though, and saying, cool, down 2-0. That sucks. That sucks. What a brutal start. What a brutal start. Like, come on, man. Just brutal. Ullmark looked terrible. Like, he looked terrible on both of those goals. And I think we have a problem as fans watching this team under Travis Green, especially this season, because they give up so few opportunities, and especially high danger opportunities. They don't give up that many. That when they do and they go in, it's so glaring, and you're like, oh my God, how could this happen? But if you watch any other hockey team, any game, anywhere, like what Ullmark did on Thursday and on Tuesday last week were great performances. But that was just goaltending. Like he was playing well, and we had not seen that enough this season out of the Sens goaltenders. So my point is, teams are not going to have a perfect shift every time, but we've been spoiled watching the Sens team because they've been excellent for most of this season at preventing scoring opportunities or getting in shooting lanes or whatever it is. And the goaltending on this team has been so bad all season that there's been little spurts that have been great, but they just have not held up their end of the bargain for the majority of this season. And it's kind of fitting that this is kind of how things seem to be shaken out. If they don't find a way to claw back in this game, it's cruelly poetic if they lose because of that. And now the Panthers go back to the power play. 2-0 already. They scored on their first one. Here's another chance. Loose in the crease. Couple saves. Okay, those are good saves. Clevin doesn't clear. Ullmark steers that out of play. Matthew Tkachuk right in the crease there. Wide open. Jones, backdoor. Matthew Tkachuk. The Panther down in the crease. Did another high stick? Another high stick? I mean, they're selling these high sticks. Hard. I mean, it's still a high stick. That's 3 high sticking penalties for the Sens to start this game. 3. Pinto, Zub, and now Clevin. They're going to be 5-on-3. That one's not on the goalie. This is brutal. I feel like none of them have actually been hit in the face, and they're acting like they've been shot. So 5-on-3 for 52 seconds. This could be a blowout. What an awful start. Two-man advantage for 52 seconds. For Florida. Three high sticking penalties for the Ottawa Senators. Good play by Pinto to get that out. $35 seconds. There's a save by Ullmark. Jones up high. That comes out. Okay. That was a good save. Just snapping it around right now. Minute left on their power play. 5-on-4 now. I think Bennett might have just hit the post, or that was a nice save by Ullmark. They're just having their way with them right now. 3 defensemen out there, too, for the Sens. Because Zub came right back out. So ugly. Ekblad, I think, also just hit the post. I don't know. I don't have game sound, so I can't really tell what's happening, but this is just great pressure from Florida. Matthew Tkachuk down low. Still loose. Ullmark making a great save, and it goes in. Yep. Sounds about right. 3-0. Couldn't get it out. Ullmark couldn't find it. That might be it, folks. What an embarrassing start. Unbelievable. That just can't go in. So remember when I said he can help his case? Green calling a timeout. I'm so mad. Three nothing Florida. 10:51 left in the first. Three goals in just over 9 minutes. And here they come again. They haven't looked good. Like let me put that into the world as well. Like they have not looked good in the last 3-4 games, let's say. You know, obviously missing the guys on the blue line has hurt them. And when you play a team like Florida, that's going to hurt you. But right now, one of their worst players has been Ullmark through the start of this game. So I don't know what you're supposed to do when your goaltender is one of your worst and you don't have your A game. So now they're down 3. To a team, like I said, has not been playing well this year, but they're still the back-to-back defending champs on home ice with still some guys in the lineup, like Bennett, Verhaeghe, Tkachuk, Jones, Ekblad, Forsling. Like they're depleted, but they're still good. So I think this is the fourth line's first shift all game with all the penalties. Like again, what I'm saying, they're not helping themselves with the penalties. 3 high sticking penalties. It's like the easiest thing to call in the game. That's not helping. But to chalk this up as anything but a disaster after all the narratives surrounding your starting goalie, there's no other way to put it. 3 goals against Ullmark, and I think he looks terrible. Just for the record here, I'm ragging on the team because I think the team looks bad too and unorganized and sloppy in some ways, but Ullmark looks awful this period. So I don't know, man. Faith is low. I have low faith. Like, where are they going to turn this around? They might get cooked on the out-of-town scoreboard tonight, and then they've lost all the work they did the last little bit. Here's Sabrango. That'd be a nice one. It's almost worth turning on the other games and reacting to those ones instead of this one. This sucks. This just sucks. They look slow. Like they're with each goal against, they look worse. Like they look like they're just giving up. To be honest with you. Brutal beat. I Oh man. Eight seconds into the game. Your goaltender who took the night off on Saturday has a bit of a mental blunder. And it might be because in, I don't know, what is it, 5 days, he skated for warm-up and that's it? Had a practice yesterday and then played? I don't know. Morning skate today? Just sucks. I thought they were through it. I really did. I thought they were through like the issues of goaltending kind of breaking their back. And what I was saying before that third goal or whatever, I lost track. Like, teams are supposed to be able to have a bad period, you know, like, and they did against Pittsburgh on Thursday. Like, they had a bad period. In the second period, they were brutal, and Ullmark stood on his head and kept that game close. A couple posts helped them out too. But you're supposed, like, that happens to hockey teams throughout an 82 game season. It just feels like with the Sens, because their goaltending has been abysmal this season, they aren't able to overcome a bad period of play and sloppy team play because their goaltending stinks. And at the heart of that, no matter what you want to say and talk about all the external off-ice factors, at the heart of their historically bad goaltending this season is their $8.25 million starter. Because, again, I'm not saying that they've all been super weak goals on him alone tonight, but he looks slow and lethargic and tired, quite frankly, which is not good for this time of year for the guy who has to be the guy. Just infuriating to watch right now. Oh, I don't know, folks. I do not know. Yeah, listen, this is soccer MTV 13. I agree with you, man. Like, they lose to Ryan and they score again. 4-0. 4-zip. Get them out of there. I need to make it clear, they don't look good. The team looks like brutal. Awful right now. They look terrible. But so does their goalie. The guy we've been talking about for 48 hours, for taking a break because he's played a lot of hockey. Looks terrible. Let him 4 goals. Like, he's not tracking it. Of course they look terrible. Sanderson, Shabbat, Jensen, Gilbert. Their D is depleted. They're supposed to look bad. And they're getting taken advantage of right now. And their star goalie is not there for them. Four nothing. Let's make it 8. Keep it going. Why not? Just embarrass them. They need a wake-up call of some kind. Maybe. I don't know, man. Probably a little late in the season for a wake-up call, but just an unacceptable period all around. And here's a 2-on-1. Bennett, Verhaeghe scores 5-0. What am I watching? What am I watching? What is this? No chance on that one. Here comes Reimer. I don't think you could have written more of a disaster. It's 5-0 in the first. Again, need to emphasize, the team looks terrible. The team looks awful. This game's obviously a write-off. It was a write-off 5 seconds in, 8 seconds in. Completely agree. Completely agree. It's probably the first time I could say that the team just quit on their goalie. Like they look disengaged. I'm speechless. I am speechless of how that game or how that period just went. Speechless. I'm sorry, folks. I got nothing for you. I got nothing. A lot of white flags being flown around. Don't blame people for leaving. We got a lot of viewers here, though, which I feel like is a bad thing. It's usually not a good sign if it peaks like this in the first period. But welcome. Hey, while you're all here, folks, please just like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It's 5-0. I'm sitting here the whole game. I'm not moving. Just like and subscribe. More content like this. Postcast will be live right here. We'll have some stuff to say after this brutal loss. Playoffs are probably done. So if you want to see me watch the Sens season fall apart, just stay tuned. Stay tuned tonight. And then hit that thumbs up. Help support us. Subscribe to the channel. More content like this. 5-0 Panthers. Also, there's something to be said. I'm gonna rant. All the whole stream. There is something to be said about constantly losing to Brady's older brother's team. I am not trying to be like, oh, this is Kachuk's fault by any means. But we get Lil Bro'd every time they play the Panthers. Every single time. It's not even close. It's embarrassing. And I hate it. So that's got to change somehow. I don't know when, because this Panthers team's not making the playoffs this year. They're going to get a top 10 pick, load up, and go right back at the cup next season. And anyone who thinks otherwise is lost. So that's got to change if we want to do anything with Tkachuk in Ottawa. First and foremost, this looks like men against boys out there right now. I'm almost not even going to watch the line combos and what they do, because it doesn't matter. I think Batherson's on the fourth line now. I haven't even noticed Timmy. I don't even know if Timmy's been on the ice. Probably has. Thank you. Appreciate it, Trash Panda, for supporting the boys here. Here's Rahegi. Yeah, I'd love to just win that last game. Unless it means the Leafs get a top 5 pick. Chat's coming in furiously here, trying to keep up with everything. Callum Fraser will join me in a few minutes here. We will have some thoughts on the display from number 35 and the display from the team. Quite frankly, we'll probably start with the team because I'm equally upset with the way the team looks, but I feel like they're somewhat related. Just a guess. Just the way they look and the way their goaltender came out in that opening frame. I would have to guess that it's somewhat related. It's pretty obvious when a team is not confident in their goaltending during the game, at least. And yeah, this one was over. It was over 8 seconds in. Like, not even half the guys didn't even touch the ice before this one was over. For the propaganda, by the way, I think Yak looks okay. He got some shots through. I actually think, let me look this up. He at least has 2 shots, 2 of their 6. Red Wings are losing at least. That's good. It is sick that, like, if Columbus loses in regulation tonight, nothing changes. But this just feels like a nail in the coffin type of thing. Oh, Luosterainen. Nice save. Oh, Yak's only got 1 shot. Clevin has 2. Okay, not as noticeable as I thought. Fogle, Eller, and Zetterlund are the only Sens forwards that are not a -1. And then Yakimchuk and Thompson. So basically everyone in the top 9, top 4 is a dash. Let me just find this comment here. They're coming in fast. And I like that. Keep them coming. Sean, I completely agree. That's a we've quit on you type of performance from this team. Especially given with what we've seen, you know? We've seen better, obviously. Yikes. I'm actually considering just changing the channel here and watching one of the out-of-town scoreboard games. What do you guys think? What do we think? We'll think about it in the intermission here. I'll talk to Callum about this one. We'll open up the second, and maybe Pilsy and I decide to watch something else. Appreciate the love, Sandu. I saw you in the chat before with the Ullmark chants. Thought you were a Panthers fan. Yeah, we'll discuss this. This will be discussed. Again, Callum Fraser, beat writer, Ottawa Citizen, Ottawa Sun, going to join me in the first intermission. And I actually think it's funny because they were up 2-0 on Tampa, and he came in and we were talking about how good this team was, and then they blew it in that one. By the way, this is 9 unanswered goals against the Sens in their last however long. Could be more here too. There's a stop by Reimer. 9 unanswered goals. With the 4 in Tampa, and then this. Anyway, last time I talked to Callum was first intermission of the Tampa game, sitting there being like, look at this team, up 2-0, they're rolling, they can win any way, with Reimer, with Ullmark, doesn't matter. Then they blew all that one. So I feel like I haven't talked to Callum when things are bleak in a while, so I'm looking forward to it, because I might need him to almost talked me off a ledge a little bit. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. That's fine. Hey, look, as long as chats are respectful to each other, you guys can comment anything you want. I am not going to be picky about stuff like that. Got people calling him Ullmark. Tough. Five nothing Panthers. The Sens have 6 shots on goal, and the Panthers have 5 goals. So if the Sens scored on every one of their shots that period, they'd be up by 1 goal. That's crazy, man. Just a character-breaking first period for the Ottawa Senators. A humbling first period for the Ottawa Senators. Appreciate the starred chats. Everyone stick around. I will watch something. I'll probably keep watching this game if I'm being honest, but I'll keep a closer eye on the out-of-town scoreboard, which has become that much more important. So I'll pull it up right now, get the stats going before Callum gets in here to talk about the worst period of the season at the absolute worst time, given how important these points are. Islanders are losing, Bruins are winning, Bruins are done. Like they're out of touch or out of reach at this point. We get the Hurricanes and the Blue Jackets. So let us know comment along here. What game do you want me to go watch? What game would you like me to watch? So I don't have to keep watching this garbage here tonight. And joining me to talk about the aforementioned garbage is Callum Fraser with the Ottawa Sens and Ottawa Sun. I'm pulling him out here quickly just so he can get his connection stable. I think sometimes right when people join, it's a little finicky. Callum, are we back? Oh, he's going to rejoin. That's okay. I'm prepared to monologue here. I think I got him back here now. There we go, Callum.
Oh, man.
So I don't know if you caught that, but right before you joined, I was just trying to get the chat to tell me what game should I go watch? What game should we put on here? Because this is embarrassing. I want to take my hat off. What the hell, man? Like, what just happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of as stunned as you are. Where do you want to start? I think there's a pretty obvious place to start.
Yeah, well, we were going to go there anyway. If he had 17 saves in a 0-0 period. That was despicable from 35.
Yeah. Listen, we got to get a disclaimer off the bat because of what's been going on social media. Like, I want to, give an opinion tonight, and I want to, be honest about the situation, but I want to be like crystal clear here. Like, if the coach is going to say what he said, and the organization and Linus Ullmark are not going to come out and clarify anything in the days later, and he's going to dress in Tampa, and he's going to start in Florida, I'm not going to speculate about his mental health. I'm going to take everything like at face value because that's what everyone involved in the situation is giving us. Okay. So don't come at me and tell me I'm lacking empathy or piling on him right now. Okay. That first goal is entirely indicative of someone who has lost their rhythm. Sometimes it is not in your best interest, especially in a playoff push, to take a rest. You're going into a sleepy barn tonight. Like, this is not – I know they're excited now because they're up 5-0, whatever, but, like, this there's nothing to get excited about this Panthers team right now. Like, there's a bunch of seats that are, unspoken for. it was not an exciting start before, this in the 7 seconds and leading up to the first goal, right? How many times have you seen a goaltender play a puck that he doesn't actually need to? Here, I'll explain it like this, right? You're on the power play, the puck gets sent all the way down. The puck is nearly like in the perfect spot on its own to be picked up by the quarterback defenseman and go back up the ice and start the play again. Goaltenders touch it every time. Every single time. Every time. How he didn't just simply shovel it there or tap it a little bit or, bring it behind the net, that is entirely rhythm. Entirely rhythm. I don't understand at all. Unless there's going to be some information that came out, right? That comes out later on. And we understand what's potentially been going on behind the scenes. He explains it. I don't understand the reason for not playing that Saturday game, even if you don't feel that great, right? To me, that was the most back-breaking play of the entire season. And Richie, listen, I'll wrap up with this. We can continue on this topic, but just for this little spiel here, there's going to be a lot of people tonight bailing Linus out by saying the Senators weren't ready to play tonight, by saying they quit. They didn't have a chance to start tonight. That is the most back-breaking play. I'll say it again. The most back-breaking play I have seen in a long, long, long time. And to me, they just weren't given a chance tonight, and because of their starting goaltender. I don't know how you can see it any other way.
Yeah, there's a couple of things on the team before I dive into Ullmark myself. I just want to mention, they look terrible. They were awful that period. I want to make that clear. This is not a typical season where they've looked good. The 3 high sticking penalties is just lazy, bad discipline. It's stuff we've seen them do when they're not on their game, right? But I'm watching that first goal again. It is a bit of an odd bounce. It comes off the boards a bit hotter probably than either Spence or Ullmark are expecting. But again, you talk about rhythm. You talk about a guy who has now, since Saturday, played a warm-up, sat there in his gear, traveled, didn't practice Sunday, practice Monday. I don't know how long it is. They don't practice a lot, don't practice that long, and then gets a morning skate today. Who knows what his routine is. He has not played a lot of hockey the last 3-4 days. You're right. Looked like a guy out of rhythm, guy didn't know what he was doing. I think every goal in that period on Ullmark, maybe save for the 5-0 goal on the 2-on-1, okay, at that point, I'll tip my cap here. The Panthers are just all over them at that point. But still, I'd like a save at some point. Be kind of cool. Even the third goal, Callum, that was probably where he had his biggest flurry of saves. He couldn't find the puck, was just letting it hit him, which is typically what we see out of Ullmark. And then the one that goes in, it goes off his right pad and through his 5-hole. It's a brutal goal against again. It's despicable the way that this kind of all played out. And I think you're right. There needs to be more. We need to know more, because that to me didn't just look like a team that never had a chance. They look like they quit on their goalie in that period. And I think that it's wild for me to say that I don't blame them, to be quite honest, because that first goal against 8 seconds into the game, 8 seconds, no one had a chance to get going. And then the second one on the power play, kind of the same. I'm actually forgetting the second goal right now that I'm thinking about it. Here's the third one right now. Yeah. Yeah,
the second. So, here's the thing. I'm going to keep going back to the rhythm thing, right? Because he looked lethargic. He looked like he was lacking a ton of energy. And again, we can I think it's fair to talk about the team's game once we get done this. We can do that in the final 5 minutes of this chat, right? I think it's the fourth goal where the puck bounces up in the air or something like that. And then a Panther player gets it and corrals it in the slot. And Linus remains in his butterfly, doesn't get back up to reset. And then there's a cross seam pass and it's in the back of the net, and he's got no chance because he gave himself no chance, right? The second goal, the redirection, it's he's not anticipating anything. You know what I mean? To me, it's you're totally right. They quit on their goaltender the second I can't even say the second half of that period. Like, they quit on their goaltender like 4 minutes in. But man, like, he didn't give them a chance tonight. He didn't give them a chance at all.
I don't mean to like just cut in here, but I'm watching the replays and like just some of the body language after, like, it's so deflating. Yeah. And we're talking here also, it's not a season where Ullmark's been their guy all year. He has struggled mightily for most of this season. His career numbers are down across the board. He's having a bad year. He had picked it up lately. So I think there was a little bit of hope on my end, at least, that like he had figured things out, gotten back to that level that we expected from him last season. And then Saturday happens. And I think you're right. You know Travis Green basically better than anyone here in the chat. You've spent a lot of time covering this team, talking to Green after practice, games. Most of us just kind of watch it. You get the vibe from this team. Travis Green is A, not a coach that misspeaks, and B, not a guy who throws his guys under the bus ever. He's very good at that. It's a player's organization. Let's call it like that right now under Ann Lauer and Steve Stais. So anyone like maybe saying that he misspoke or we misinterpreted him Saturday, all credit to Jackson Starr. Don't know the guy. Tough position on the road as the only guy on doing the media. He didn't exactly push for that answer. If you watch that clip, that was offered from Travis Green. That's a frustrated coach in the middle of a playoff race with careers, jobs, money, millions on the line in this playoff race. Frustrated that he's not able to play his starting goalie. Callum, I want to bring you to this point because you and I talked about it before.
Sorry, I don't know where you're going right now, but like, can I just a couple more points on like the week that just was?
Yeah, I wanted to keep talking about Ullmark. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so we talk about comments, man. Like, I could not agree more with you. Like, that was a purposeful comment from Travis Green. And I like, there's been one time I think this season where, and I don't want to say thrown under the bus because he hasn't done that. Like, he gets pushed to a point in which he's like, you know what, I kind of got to give some honesty here. And the only other time I can think about is like when he said he might have needed a couple more saves from Levy in that 6-5 Montreal game, right? This guy protects his players. This organization, this team, everyone stood behind Linus multiple times this year, okay? What happened last week? They, for the first time, maybe this entire season, needed a goaltender, okay? They needed like far below average goaltending for a lot of this season. But for the first time in this year, they needed a goaltender to win them some points. And guess what? Linus Ullmark did that, okay? Tuesday and Thursday, they got 3 points. I'd give him 2 of those. I'll give him 1 in Detroit and absolutely one against Pittsburgh. 1,000%. After the game in Pittsburgh, or against Pittsburgh in Ottawa, I'm paraphrasing here. I wish we could play the actual clip. But he said something along the lines of like, it is gut check time, and at this point in the season is when boys turn into men. How in the world? And again, I'm going to repeat, okay? Because people can clip this thing, and I'm going to get like completely destroyed by a lot of people I respect on social media for this, okay? So I will repeat. I am taking the organization, the coach, and the goaltender right now, what they have said and what they have not said at face value. He wanted a rest on Saturday. That has completely thrown his rhythm off from what I'm seeing. I don't know. I'm not in his head, right? From what I'm seeing. And I'm not going to lie, Richie, reading into it, you're totally right. It looked like they said, well, you know what? If you're going to quit on us, we're going to quit on you tonight. It's a tough spot, man. It's a tough look. It really is.
Frankly, it's a testament to the character of the group that it took this long to quit on goaltending, if that makes sense. Like they have dealt with brutal goaltending. Levy was awful this season. Reimer has also not been that good at all. Like he's been okay and a bit of a spark and giving them backup goaltending when they need it, but he's also not been good. His numbers are bad. So the fact that we've gotten to this point with this type of goaltending is, I think, impressive. And then it sucks because that one game that you're talking about, the Montreal loss, which was Levy's last game, Sanderson has that quote out of frustration, and that goes everywhere. Oh, Jake Sanderson's throwing his rookie under the bus, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what I wanted to bring up to you, Callum, is because we're going face value here. He needed a rest. It's not he needed a mental reset. If that was what he said, I personally have a different reaction. Like I said, though, I believe Green chose his words purposely and carefully. Rest to me means physically, that he's tired. And what we saw in that first period looked like a slow, tired goaltender. For a team with such an emphasis on fitness and preparation, why is the starting goaltender, who is the second highest paid player in the franchise, why are there suddenly questions here about readiness and fitness in a season like this? Staios, Green have emphasized this season with the condensed schedule about fitness, recovery, all of this. You would assume that applies to the starting goaltender as well. And I'm not saying that the team isn't thinking it does, but there's some sort of disconnect here. There's some sort of issue where they don't think that he can, or he doesn't think he can handle it as a starter. And this is where we don't have to get into offseason stuff, because I wanted to, depending how this period went, but let's just talk about this game because he let in 5 goals and got yanked. So it kind of feeds into what we're talking about anyway. But I just can't fathom a worse 48, 72 hours for Linus Ullmark down the stretch here. He was right back to his Vezina level, in my opinion. He was playing so well. He was so dialed in, stealing the points, like you said. Excuse me. And then he lays that egg. And again, it's not like I see people in the chat talking about how the team looked terrible too. And like, I think you're right though. Like you're playing from behind right away when you're already undermanned. No Sanderson again tonight. Like, it's hard as a player, man, to be going out there 82 games every season, putting your body on the line like that. And then your starter just says he needs a rest. Mental health stuff aside, if he said he needed a mental reset, I believe in the character of those guys. I think they would have understood that, given what they said about everything. I think the fact that the reaction that happened with Green and everything, that was not the case. And I think that's a problem, because that's not just this season, man. He kind of, when he was out in the beginning of last season, like a strange training camp injury right when he came in, he missed some time early last season around Christmas, right when they're rolling, he strains his back. Like, I don't want to point to injuries and stuff, but when the resume starts to build here a little bit, you ask some questions, and I'm fed up watching this goaltending carousel and this drama in the crease. Like, I just can't believe what I just saw tonight. I got to be honest. And that's not really a question for you, but
no, that's okay.
Your thoughts on the 5 goals against there for Linus Ullmark.
Yeah. I'll comment on a couple of things that you said there. It's funny when you texted me, like, maybe we'll talk a bit of off season. It's funny how, a couple hours later, I'm kind of coming around to that idea, right? Like, it actually does kind of, because it's just, there's just like a new reason, I guess, for not getting to that 50 start threshold, right? And again, like, I've seen a lot of people talk about how, we shouldn't be talking about the $8 million figure, and, how everyone needs a rest here and there. And that stuff, I can't be persuaded. Like, this is a game, man, that people would play for $40K. Like, die for $40K. Every goaltender in the league that gets paid like over $5 million, USD, by the way, plays like 60 times a year. And they want that crease. Like, I've heard a couple of people say this on like podcasts and the weekday sports radio talk shows, that really, really strong point here. You want a goaltender that you need to like rip out of the crease, like kicking and screaming. And again, disclaimer, mental health stuff aside, we're taking it at face value. This is about rest, okay? You want a goaltender who loves the game as much as that crazy fourth liner who is like throwing their body around and giving you their best 8 minutes a night on the grinding line, right? That's what you want your goaltender to be. And especially with the style of play that this team is, right? Like, This team is not propped up. I know Tim Stutzel's an amazing player. Jake Sanderson's an amazing player. Guess what? This team is not propped up by individuals. They are not. This is a 20 guys pulling on the rope type of team. They played their best hockey when their bottom six actually looked like they were, driving the play and giving Green the ability to roll all four lines. You got your shutdown line in Amadio, Pinto, and Cousins that works harder than any line in the entire league. And then your fourth line's completely transformed with Warren Fogle. The second line was a battering ram for months there, and you have seasons of buy-in that I've never seen before from guys like Timmy and from Jake. I'm going to hammer this point home. This is a team that is not propped up by individuals. They are cohesive. They band together, and I can't imagine that there's no feelings of letdown or just. There's a ton of guys that are playing hurt right now, man. There really are.
Yeah.
There's guys during that Olympic break that definitely took a lot of rest to heal some injuries, and they are not feeling good right now, for sure. And I just think back to Linus wasn't on Team Sweden, right? He had an extra rest. And the fact, I'll end here, the fact that he played, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 games last week, right?
Yes.
Reimer played 2 games and he played 2 games, and we've got 3 weeks left in the season.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem hyperbolic here, but that, I think that's pretty unheard of in the NHL, at least. With regards to a team that is in the position that the Ottawa Senators are, they control their own destiny, but by the margin of winning out. And that happens, I'm at a loss. I just said 3,000 words, but I feel like I'm at a loss for words. Has the game started, by the way? I don't have it on.
Yeah, we're back, but I'm serious. I mean, I just saw a nice play from Yakimchuk. I'll push that propaganda. I actually thought he looked pretty good in that period. I think we were both at a loss there. I'm also just this is a casual watch now. I was talking that we might. Oh, Batherson just ripped one. There we go, 5-1.
That's hilarious. Well, maybe I shouldn't turn it back on.
Yeah, maybe we'll keep. I mean, hey, you want to talk about? Maybe I'm back, Callum. Maybe they'll come back.
Yeah. Listen,
so I was actually talking about
if you want to keep chatting here, I made a decision midway through the first period that my grades article tonight is going to be a lot more overall takeaways and not necessarily the most in-depth analysis of one of the worst hockey games that we've seen in a long time.
It's kind of hard to,
so I'm good to keep chatting.
I think that's 30 goals for number 19, actually. So I know it's a garbage time goal for him, but good for him. That's obviously a career high. That was a nice shot that he just had. So yeah, let's just keep it rolling here. But Callum, because I do want to talk offseason a little bit. And look, also want to point out, out of town scoreboard was perfect in that period, which is all the more frustrating.
Was it now?
Everyone's losing. Columbus.
But you're not taking Boston into account.
No, they're out of reach.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah,
Islanders losing, Red Wings losing, Flyers all of a sudden they're losing, Blue Jackets losing. Everyone's down. So, including the Sens. So it's just a bad night for the Eastern Conference wildcard race right now.
I had a thought that we could end up after this game in the exact same spot.
They could, right? They could, which would be a blessing, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. And then the script kind of flips in that, the past 3 or 4, even 5 games was about taking advantage, and I know Tampa's an incredible team, but taking advantage of a lot of teams that are having down years, right? Like the New York Rangers. Detroit, obviously they're fighting for it, but they are definitely on the downswing here. Pittsburgh was vulnerable without their players. Tampa Bay was vulnerable without their players. Florida was vulnerable without their star players, right? So it's interesting because if they can somehow, some way get out of this by no doing of their own, right? By no actions of their own, because this game's over. But if the out-of-town scoreboard helps them out, it's interesting how this script is completely like different once we get to Thursday. And it's like they have very few layup games left. You've got New Jersey and Toronto and the Panthers again, but we have just found out that that's not a layup game. And it then becomes, well, actually, you know what? The Senators kind of have played really well in 2026 against really good teams. Maybe they can do this again, right? And it's the combination of like a kick in the pants of what this game is, and then on top of that, like the resurrection of the out-of-town scoreboard, giving you one last chance to put something together and actually make the playoffs. So it's interesting. I mean, again, listen, I've watched a lot of out-of-town scoreboards come back to bite them. So we'll see what happens. But they're definitely not dead yet. They're just looking pretty wounded.
They're not. Callum, I am actually, Pilsy has arrived, and we're going to go to our second period segment because I think the great Sens Central citizens who are sticking around, 285 people, you guys are all sickos, by the way, for sticking around. So Callum, appreciate it. One of our last road games of the season, unfortunately, because they've got a bit of a homestand coming up. We will connect again, obviously, maybe not without cameras. We can talk more about this, but appreciate you sticking through and having a bit of a therapy session with me during that.
Absolutely, man. Always appreciate chatting with you. And hey, happy early birthday.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. That's Callum Fraser for the Ottawa Citizen, the Ottawa Sun. No shortage of things to write about for Mr. Fraser after tonight. The Panthers, I think, just hit the post. Pilsy, I was so ready to come on and like talk about your tan, talk about how good you guys look with the sun on you, talk about, people just being excited about this game. And then all of a sudden in the chat, I got people saying this is Pilsy 5-0 in Chicago again. How stunned were you in that period? I'm still shocked.
Just completely nonverbal. Like as the goals were going in, just getting more and more numb. That song, the Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, is just like playing, and I'm just like fading off into the distance, just like watching the season slip away in a game where, much like that Chicago game, Jack, I had expectations that not only are the Senators going to win, not only are they going to win in regulation, not only should they be getting a puck line win here, but we should be seeing goals stacked upon goals here for this team. And 8 seconds in, like, I'm assuming you're on the TSN stream, Jack. Like the cameras hadn't even settled in to the game yet, and there's a goal. I thought they were flashing back to a replay of a previous game because they hadn't done the kind of wide angle face off and kind of settle in. Like it was just insane how quickly that happened.
Pilsy, I went to because what I've started to do here in the race, like I go through the other games that we got to keep an eye on. And I know you guys did it today. There's a lot on the slate tonight, and I should note, looking pretty good right now. So this could not matter. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. I was talking to Chad about maybe throwing on one of those games instead and reacting, but I don't know if we should do that. I think we got to soak this one in, wins and losses. I was looking at that and they cut and they see Noah Gregor celebrating, and I'm thinking it's a highlight, and I missed it. And then I saw the replay of the goal, and I was like you, I went nonverbal live on the air. I was like, I couldn't believe what I saw from Ullmark on that play, just given the last 72 hours of dialogue that this fan base has had at each other's throats about this. And it was that. And like, I was shocked, man. And then it just unfolded from there. It looked like the team quit. They were lazy. It was a bad period for this Sens, but I was talking to Callum there at the beginning. Looks to me like a team that was just like, you know what? Why would I go battle right now when it doesn't feel reciprocated from the guy in between the pipes? And I hope I'm not reading too much into that, and maybe that's not the case, but it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, terrible. I mean, that first goal is 100% on Ullmark. Like even Noodles, the goalie hugger, was saying, like, look, if you go to play that puck, you got to do something with it. You can't just go to play it and leave it there, because what you're doing is you're leaving a puck wide open in the slot. And maybe you could say, well, Jordan Spence, that's a miscommunication there. But Jordan Spence has that puck. He stops going for it because Ullmark goes to play it. Like that, even as a hashtag goalie friendly show, we try to give goalies the benefit of the doubt, but that's 100% on the goalie. Like even if Ullmark does play that, like what are you going to do with that puck? That would have been a better or more efficient play than Jordan Spence just scooping it up and dealing with it himself like he was going to do. So that is just unbelievably brutal to start a game off 8 seconds in. And like you said, for the discourse and everything going on with Ullmark after the weekend, for that to be how you start a game, just brutal.
It's pathetic. And yeah, I know we are a goalie friendly show, or you guys are a goalie friendly show. I feel like I'm not a goalie friendly guy. I just like to stop the puck. It won't be a goalie friendly stream. That was just pathetic. Like, it's just pathetic. It's so hard too, because again, Callum and I were just talking about the team and how good they've looked all season, and goaltending has been their undoing. It's not a secret. Like, any analyst, any stat analytic tells you that Sens goalies have let them down this year. So the fact that it kind of took this long, I really do think, for it to visibly look like the team was just kind of mailing it in front of their goalie. Like that 2-on-1 and the fourth and fifth goal specifically was a white towel moment for me. Like, that is not Travis Green hockey, not Ottawa Senators hockey. I know it's Matt and Paolo and Thompson out there getting exposed on a couple of them, but it just didn't look like the team we've seen all season. So the fact it took this long for that to happen is impressive in and of itself. But I just don't even know where they go from here. Like, even if the out-of-town scoreboard is good, like, I guess like they're riding with Ullmark here, obviously, because he's better than Reimer, but I don't know. Like, is this there's a turnover by Yakimchuk? I actually thought he had a decent first period, but that's just me looking for anything. I just don't know where they go from here. Even if everything, stays put, no one wins tonight, which is a possibility. It looks like on the scoreboard right now. I wonder what happens.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly, like that. And it's just so frustrating because Ullmark had been really good the last little while here. Like, it looked like he turned things around and he'd been back to the goalie that we need him and expected him to be. And for this to be the result, I mean, it's just so tough when this is the shell of an NHL team. Like, if you took the guys that are injured, you could have a pretty good starting lineup with just the guys that are out for Florida. So for them to be able to do this to the Sens, I mean, obviously the Ottawa Senators have injuries too, but not even close to what the Panthers are dealing with. And so there's no opportunity for excuse. The Panthers are playing their backup goalie and they're able to do this. Like, it's just brutal. And I don't know. I don't want to sit here and be doom and gloom like this is the nail in the coffin, because it's really not. But like you said, it's hard to see this team bouncing back up against other better teams that are actually in the hunt when this is what they're doing after they just let a game slip away on Saturday.
Yeah, they let a game slip away, but again, they were able to afford a couple losses down the stretch. Yeah. Like, they're still in a spot here where they can make a push. They're not eliminated tonight. They're not none of that's the case. It's just letting an opportunity slip away again. But this didn't even feel like it slipped away. It just, this felt like they didn't even let an opportunity happen. Like, they were down 1-0 8 seconds into this game. So they didn't even stand a chance. And then it was 2-0 on the power play. I think 1:06 in. So before guys even touch the ice, you're down 2 goals. It's just not a recipe for any sort of success. And then I want to point out the third goal, because that was actually the one I had the biggest problem on with Ullmark, because I think that in his season, he's shown a good amount of like bounce back mid game. Like, I find that bad goals against, or goals against in general, don't deflate him as much as they should. Like, he's battled a lot. That third goal against, they're down 2-0 at this point, and the Panthers were swarming on that power play. It was after the 5-on-3. They were buzzing around. I just thought he looked tired. He looked tired, and which is ironic given what happened Saturday. And he looked unengaged, and then it's a bad goal against. Like, he could have frozen it a couple times and then stopped play and really calmed things down. And it's brutal. It's brutal. That's how this unfolded. And again, we could be sitting here like, The Tampa game was close. That ended up being a regulation loss. This is going to end up being a regulation loss as well. And at the end of the day, they're the same thing. But they hurt more when you're in a playoff race and you're 2 points out controlling your own fate. It's a tough pill to swallow, man.
Definitely. And that's the thing. Like the Tampa one, disappointing, but you're not that upset about it. Like that's a good team, even without Kucherov playing. Like, and that's one you kind of looked at and you're like, that's a team in the playoffs. They're hot. Whatever. You're going to lose some games. But this one is just a totally different scenario. And the Sens just cannot find a way to win in Florida against the Panthers. It's crazy. And I mean, just in Florida in general, they've really struggled. So it's tough that they weren't able to kind of seize the moment here and have this be a bounce back performance and then go into a stretch of more important games up against teams that you're in the hunt with, feeling good about yourself, because this is not the way they wanted things to go. And then there was hope that Sanderson would be back for this. And I mean, he's not back, and it just shines a light on even brighter how much this team misses him. My God.
They're going to the power play again here. Looked decent on the last one. Yeah, like I just don't know, man. I don't know how to break this one down. I'm rarely speechless about this team. You know me. I yap.
Yeah.
I have things to say a lot of the time, and so do you. Like, do this for a living and all the time, every day. Your team every day. When things unexpectedly happen live like this, I'm just a little lost for words. Like I can't believe how nonverbal I was in that first period. It was brutal. Just nothing to say. They've taken Yak off PP1 here and put Spence out. Also, I don't know if you noticed, Timmy's back to his old tape job and it's not working.
I can't believe Alfie let him do that. Oh my God. That's surprising. Yeah. Jack, my internet is messed up down here. The blackout demons have found me and they're making me not be able to watch the game on my Wi-Fi. So I tried it on my personal hotspot. It's just not working down here. I might try a quick location change to go upstairs, get better service on my cell phone, and then I can hotspot it to watch it. This whole time I've just been frozen. But we haven't really been needing to comment on the game play-by-play as it goes. But I'm going to switch spots so I don't miss too much of it. I'll hop back on in a couple minutes, okay?
Sounds good. All right. So Pilsy will be right back. Little rest for Pilsy, if you will. Topic of the week for the Ottawa Senators. And he gave a breakaway there. And yeah, we're obviously not going to follow along with the game super closely because it doesn't matter. They're down 5-1 in the second period. And they're probably not going to come back. Most likely not going to come back. But still, you want to see what happens here. See if guys make it out healthy. Batherson scored his 30th goal. Am I miss saying that? Was that his 30th or was that his 29th? Am I just spewing nonsense? Was his 30th. That was his 30th. From Fogel and Timmy. Yeah, like just a letdown of a game in a spot that they needed to win. Flyers have made it 3-2 in their game. The rest of the results are okay. Keep an eye on those because they do matter. They do matter. I know that it's ugly right now for the Sens, but if most of the results out of town are fine, they're still very much alive in this race. And again, for what it's worth, they've looked good in the second period, I think. That's why we say for what it's worth, because it's probably not worth much, but they're pushing. Spence just fanned on one. Good play defensively. Pilsey's doing a location change. He'll be back shortly. Liam, I think that's a fair question. Could have taken too long. Reimers looked good. Yeah, I know, Curtis. I'm just trying to find something, man. Trying to find something. Again, for all you here sticking around, appreciate you. Just like and subscribe to the show. Please give us a thumbs up. Goes a long way. We'll be back. I'll be back here Thursday. I'm not going anywhere. That game will still matter. They still need points no matter what. Support the show. Like and subscribe. Even though they went down 5-1 in the first. Or 5-0, sorry. I'm scared to open Twitter. Nick Cousins tried to draw one there. I'm looking at the out-of-town scoreboard more than the game right now. Trust me, I'm doom and gloom, but I still want them to make playoffs. Obviously. Matt and Paolo coming in. It's a good rush there from Matt and Paolo. I'd like to see Timmy have a bit of a push. He's been pretty neutered in this game. Got Fogle up with him and Batherson. That's been pretty consistent this period. Worth noting, I guess. Sam Bennett wide open in front. Kachuk scores 6-0 or 6-1. Yeah, this is ugly. That was a bad shift from Stutzla. Can't have him go now. Can't have him start to forget. Back-to-back bad games. Florida is not kind to Tim Stutzla. Yikes. He's got his pocket picked. And he knows it too. There we go. We got upstairs Brandon Pillar, and it's 6-1 now, Pilsy.
Yeah, I literally got it on and saw Kachuk scoring.
I will. Like, obviously, they're missing their top dogs. They've still got guys playing. Like, these guys are nasty. Like, Kachuk, Bennett, Verhaeghe is not an easy line to play against. So I'm not giving them a pass, but
yeah, at this, like, there's just so much game left. Like, this is just gonna be
this sucks.
So brutal.
This absolutely. I'm legit considering throwing on another game here, Pilsy. I'm not kidding. We got Flyers. Washington is tight. I'm not actually going to. Am I? No.
Jack, you can answer this. Is this worse than the Colorado game was?
Yeah, given the stakes, this is way worse. This sucks. I here's another topic. Let's talk about this. I know that you and Ross talked again today about being tired of the Matthew Brady storyline. I'm tired of just losing every time they play. We get Lil Broed every single time they play the Panthers, and it's got to stop because this team's not going anywhere. Plan here is to win a cup. Got to go through them at some point to do that. I know not this season, but it sucks. So I'd personally prefer if they kind of. I mean, I don't really know. I know you were the one who said the podcast is a bad idea, but every time I tune in, see a clip, I'm not liking the Sens representation versus the Panthers representation, especially this season. I'll just say that. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, doing a podcast while you're actively a player, let alone players, is certainly an interesting move. I know that's kind of a new era thing going on, and it's cool, it's interesting, but man, when the dynamic is the way it is with the Ottawa Senators and your brother / co-host just has your number every time you play, like if I'm Brady, that's got to be the worst thing. Like we saw on the Amazon documentary, that was kind of his story, is that little brother syndrome that not only he has with Matthew, but also the Sens have with other franchises. And just to have this be the result when you go up against your big brother, that's got to be so demoralizing. Like at this point, Matthew's probably not even like teasing him about it. He probably feels bad for him, and just they probably don't even talk about it because it's just like there's no rivalry. It's the same competition as a hammer and a nail when these two teams go up against each other when Brady's up against Matthew. So it's just brutal that this is how it goes
every time. And sure, Habs and Leafs fans licking their chops at us talking Lil Bro stuff because it's a franchise thing too. Like we know it. Sens fans know it. We're wedged between the two biggest markets in the league, and we hear it every game. It sucks, and not to bring that up in this game because that's not what this is. But it's difficult when they always go into Florida and get their ass kicked, even when the Panthers are tanking. Like they're trying to lose.
Yeah, this is bad for the Panthers to win this.
Yeah, I will say they look good. Like they're playing like they usually look. Like if you told me this team was first in the division right now, I'd believe you, to be honest, with the way they're playing. Like Timmy has been neutered tonight, like just completely suffocated. He's playing terribly, and they do that to every team's top players. So, yeah, you just wonder where this was all season for Florida, to be honest.
Seriously, yeah. And for Hagee in the intermission talked about like, hey, we still want to like uphold the culture here, and that's the thing. Like these guys are able to find that and pull that out, and especially at home in front of their fan base, they don't want to just kind of give a weak effort here. So, I mean, they got season ticket holders. When you're not winning Stanley Cups, you want to at least find a way to keep fans engaged and excited and ready for the next year. But yeah, this is tough. They're showing the standings here, and like you said, Jack, if the out of town scoreboard doesn't go their way, this is one where
you'll look back on.
Yeah, 3 points out versus 5 points when he got 8 games left is a big change, a big difference.
Yep. And the Panthers were actually, I think, on the brink of elimination tonight. Like if they lost in regulation, it would have been done for them. So maybe that's the motivation for them tonight. Like we're not doing this on home ice. I don't know. Something along those lines, maybe. They need Sanderson back. We've known that forever. 6 of their last 8 at home, and depending on results tonight, like there's no reason to panic. I think there's a lot of reason to discuss what we've been discussing this whole night, though, and like what happened this trip, really. Which unfortunately, like that boots on the ground record is excellent, but this is a terrible taste in your guys' mouth, man. It's not just the one out, like the one in Tampa. Like this one following it up is so brutal. Are you glad though you didn't go to Sunrise for the bachelor party?
Funny you say that, Jack, because we talked about it. We discussed it. Like, hey, get 2 different locations, Tampa, and then maybe we go to Fort Lauderdale later, catch both the games. And I just, okay, here we go.
Spence, good for him. God, I love Jordan Spence.
That was needed because I feel like this has been his worst game as a Sen, and to no fault of his own, but just like not good. And yeah, that's a sad goal celebration. Like they just know this one's done. Also, but it's good to get something here.
Hey, I say Timmy's having a bad night. He's got 2 points.
Yeah, on the 2 goals.
Yeah. I don't know if Amadio touched that one, but.
Oh, Amadio might have got it.
Hey, we'll take the stat padding. Why not? Yeah. It's point night.
Point night. Yeah, 6-2. Yeah, but anyways, we did think about extending it to do both Florida games. And I looked at the record against the Panthers, and because we had to plan this like way back in November. And I was just like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, it's tough up against Tampa. So if we had to eat that Tampa loss and then go into this game thinking we're going to dominate and have to sit there for this, that would have been real bad vibes for the bachelor party. So I'm glad we capped it where we did.
I think they were minus 190, the lowest I saw them coming in tonight. Like this is an embarrassing loss with the way this is unfolded. But again, man, like I had people in the chat asking, I was just surfing through it when you went for the change. Did it work out though, the internet switch?
Yeah. I don't know where you are. I'm at 356.
Yeah, I'm a few seconds ahead here. I'll just pause quickly and then.
Okay.
349.
349.
All right.
Oh, nice chance for Mario there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking through the chat and people were like, why didn't they pull Ullmark earlier? And that's a question that Travis Green should probably have to answer. I know that was probably the last thing he wanted to do based on how Saturday went, obviously. And then now you're talking about saving Reimer's energy because Reimer, after tonight, will have played more hockey than Ullmark in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's not good.
I thought after the 3rd goal, Jack, like you talked about, that was a bad goal. I think I would have given him the yank there.
Hey, good timeout though from Travis Green.
Yes,
at the time anyway.
We did see a timeout there, but not even anything to do with the goaltending. I think I would have just done it just to wake the team up because at that point, like you can point at Ullmark for not playing great, obviously, but. That was close. But the team as a whole was just not good either. And that, like at 3-0 that early in the game, like you can still kind of tell yourself that you have a chance to get back in it, right? Whereas the 5-0 in the first not even over, like that, like you're done.
Yeah, you're done at that point. But I mean, and it's hard to say like if it was only 3-0 to the Sens get these 2 goals, you don't know, like probably not. Yeah. They got Stützle, Amadio, and Greg as a line, it looks like right now, which is, I feel like a brand new combination. The permutations have been reached here for Travis Green.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
I don't hate it. It obviously resulted in 1 goal, but give him some bite. Maybe not the speed is still on the wings, but Bathurst and Giroux were not cutting it. Here's Cousins. Oh.
Yeah, so we got Cousins, Brady, and Bathurst then.
What do you need to see the score get to get delusional in the 3rd? 6-3?
No, 6-4, I think. 6-3 doesn't do it.
I could get behind 6-3 if they weren't giving up rushes like this.
That's the thing. Like they only have 13 shots.
It's crazy. Noah Gregor. A lot of former Sens in this game. Gregor, Cole Reinhardt, Sabrango.
Yeah.
Basically former B Sens, but they're playing.
Yeah, and you do have to look too, like you got to think how exhausted these guys are, especially those top 3D and Zub, Clevin, and Spence. So it's not ideal, and I don't want to say it's an excuse, but it is just the reality of the situation. Those guys got to feel stretched thin.
Yeah, and again, depending how tonight goes, like you can spin zone this easily on the flight home and be like, look, boys, we got a 4-game homestand here. Let's lock in and get 6 or 7 points and let's climb. Because every team's getting tired. I was looking at I think it was Pittsburgh who played also 6 games, 9 nights, or it was Columbus or something like that. Like everyone's playing a lot. Like it's not like the Sens exclusively, we're 5 games behind everyone. Like they've all played a ton. And when you're desperate for points, like all these teams are, it takes a toll because every game is so important and you're locked in and battling, blocking shots everywhere. Which again, going back to Ullmark, makes it that much more frustrating that he needed a rest. And yeah, I don't do this a lot, especially with the streams because they're so long and we say so much stuff, and half the time it gets contradicted anyway. I really want to see how I opened this because I was giving my like spiel on what you guys did today basically and yesterday, like just the mental health aspect versus the rest, like what should we talk about? And then as I'm looking over here at the out of town scoreboard, I go back and I'm like, oh, it's 1-0 already, 8 seconds in, and then it just downhill. Anyway, it's tough. Another power play here. That was the other thing. They didn't do themselves any favor. They had 3 high sticking penalties in the first 10 minutes of that game. Like, come on.
Well, there was a 5-on-3 with Clevin and Zub, the guys in the box.
All 3 high sticks were like in the helmet, and the Panthers acted like they were shot. So let's also give the refs a break because obviously they called those because you can't not at that point.
Yep.
But it was pretty funny seeing all 3 of them unfold the exact same way.
Yeah.
And Giroux's unhappy about something. I wasn't watching super closely, obviously, that period, but they pushed at least, and I know people are gonna roll their eyes at that, but I like when, because Timmy to me is having a bad game, like I said. When he gets frustrated, I like it because he plays hard, and when he plays mad, I think I like what I see out of 18. So I just always, every time they get blown out like this or there's a frustrating night for him with the opposition, I just like watching him battle because it feels like in the playoffs. I don't know if you feel the same.
No, definitely, yeah, and I think there's good and bad to wearing your heart on your sleeve like Timmy does, but it's, as a fan, it's nice to see that he's not just complacent. And I think maybe some athletes, like, especially as you have a long career, you got to kind of learn to be like, look, it sucks we're getting blown out here, but I can't let it like bring me down or make me act too crazy. I got to stay kind of calm, cool, collected here. But as a fan, it's hard to see when you're pissed and you're reeling, and then you look at the guys on the ice and they're just going through the motions kind of calmly. Like, so it is nice to see Timmy being like, no, I can't handle this. This is unacceptable, and kind of losing his mind out there. So maybe not the ideal approach all the time, but it is good to see once in a while that that's how much he cares, that he can't stand when things don't go his way this badly.
Yeah, and I think as he's gotten older, it's become less of like a whiny look for him and more of a frustrated, like, I'm going to go make something happen about it. And he's got 2 points. Got 2 points in that period. So let's look at the positives here, folks. Timmy, the German, the engine is revved. The best players getting pissed. I don't do this ever, but I'm going to air something out that just was said in our postcast group chat.
Okay.
By Ross Levitan, co-host of the Locked On Senators podcast. I just want to say it because if it happens, he needs to get credit for it live so he doesn't look like he's giving himself a pat on the back. He just said, call me crazy, but I think they come back if they score on this power play. I don't know if he's going to like it if I said that, but I was kind of in the same boat. I'm like, what do you need to get delusional here? And 6-3 won't cut it?
Look, Jack, usually I'm the positive guy and I try to have the optimism, but I'm so not on that boat with you guys. I think this one is done. We are cooked in this game. Like, let's just try. Honestly, I'm at the point, let's just get through this next 20 minutes with no injuries like that. Like, this is, and I wish I could be more optimistic, but I just can't. Like, I can't believe how we started this game. And
they actually took Timmy's point away on Batherson's goal. I don't know why, but
weird.
It was like a face-off, I thought. Anyway, that's what we're clinging to here. All right, 4-2 Capitals over the Flyers, end of the second. Mid-second, Hurricanes up 2-0 on the Blue Jackets. Red Wings down 4-1 to Pittsburgh. Islanders are tied 1-1 with the Sabres, but a Columbus loss is all we need to make this an okay night, in my eyes. I'd obviously like the Islanders not to get a point if possible, but Sens still kind of control their fate against them, all things considered, right now.
Yeah, Dallas tied it up against the Bruins. That's good.
Yep. Yeah. I'm starting to not look at the Bruins anymore. I'm looking at that 8th wild card spot as the only one.
No, that's totally fair. But I mean, if the rest of the playoff teams can struggle, I'm down with that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, they limp into the playoffs. I like this from Henry. Defeated, smashing Buffalo chicken dip. I like that, Henry. Everyone in the chat here, let us know what they're doing to cope with this loss.
Yes.
Obviously keep it PG, but let's just see, because there's worse things to be doing than sitting here with a bunch of sick Sens fans watching us. I'm assuming there's more than just Sens fans in here. But let us know, how are we coping with this deflating result from your Ottawa Senators?
All right, here's the formula from Liam, Jack. My prediction: Sens score on the power play, then score 3 minutes later. Sens get a 5-minute power play, score 2, and win in overtime.
Okay.
You know what? That's the formula, Liam. Yeah, I like it. If all of those things happen, I'm right back.
I think predicting a 5-minute power play is more unlikely than predicting a 4-goal comeback here in the third period, or it'd be a 5-goal comeback overall. 6-1 was the score. I'd love if that happened.
Man.
Yeah, some funny replies there in the chat. Probably won't throw some of them up, but Pilsy, I'll just keep you for this intermission. I won't make you sit here for the third period with me. Again, you got the postcast coming up. I may join you guys for event cast.
If you don't have it in you, no one will blame you, Jack.
No, I know. I feel like I've the records that that Ross keeps for, and like you and I obviously have a brutal one, but I feel like I've kind of asterisked that record since doing the streams, because I really just pick and choose for the most part, and I'm just picking wins for the most part. So I feel like I'm due to do a loss. I don't know why. But so what I wanted to ask you, let's go big picture. Let's go off-season talk. Skip a little bit ahead, because most of this team will be back. What are you doing, Matt?
It's so tough because, I mean, you got Linus for what, this year and 3 more?
Yeah, this is year 1 of a 4-year deal, paying him $8.25 million a season.
I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to move him. And then with Levy,
he also has a no move, I should point out. Full no move.
That's also part of it. Yeah, and then Levy needs waivers. So
Levy in and of itself is a huge offseason question with a 1-year deal expiring. So
yeah. What are you gonna do? I don't know. And it seems like the writing's on the wall for Mad Sogard with the Kevin Radler signing. He's now probably gonna get maybe a game or 2 with Belleville. We'll see. But I have no clue. And you're already retaining money on Korpisalo. So if you're looking at doing something crazy, and I'm not suggesting this, but if you're thinking about a buyout, then how much money can you pay goalies to not play for your team? And then now you got to go find another goalie, and that's not easy. You're going to trade assets to do that. You already traded decent assets to get Linus Ullmark and to get out of his contract. You traded Mark Kastelik, who's a serviceable 4th-line guy, and you traded away that 1st-round pick. It ends up being 25th overall or something.
Good player too, Dean Letourneau, Ottawa boy, 6'7" monster at BU right now.
I was so low on him, Jack. I think I gave him 2 stars in our prospect profile, and then when the Bruins drafted him, I was like, thank God they picked someone that sucks. I don't want this kid at all. And then he had a
brutal season last year.
Brutal year, and now he's looking good, of course.
How crazy is it that it kind of flips? Like the first season with Ullmark, Sens make the playoffs. He's a great goalie. Bruins miss. We're like, what a steal. I've got tweets people dig up. I'm probably getting tagged right now. And what were the Bruins thinking? And this season they're chilling in a playoff spot and the Sens are in the dumps. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I felt. But in fairness to me, I did say Dean Letourneau either is going to be Logan Brown, big guy with some skill that just doesn't pan out, or is going to be Tage Thompson, and we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, last year, Jack, I was laughing. I was like, the Bruins not only took on Korpisalo, a guy we needed to get rid of, they used their draft pick they got from us on a guy that I would not have wanted or drafted myself. And our goalie's turning out well for us, but that is not the case here. And look, if we're sticking on big picture, I'm not fully convinced that you absolutely cannot win with Linus Ullmark. Am I disappointed and are my hopes low on him? Absolutely. Like, I can't fake that. I can't try to cope and try to have positivity about it right now, for sure. But you don't have much of a choice. It's going to be so hard to move on from him. You pushed your chips in and you bet on this horse. You got to try to find a way to make it work.
Pillsy, I'm gonna go big. Like, bear with me here. Have you seen? I know you're a movie guy, aren't you? Like, you seen Dune? Those movies. I like posting that picture of like Timmy's like, I've seen it, whatever.
Yeah.
To see the future. So that's how I felt the last couple of days. I'm like I've drinking the water of life. Okay. I'm seeing something because I've been reflecting, man. Like, this is a important season for the Sens. They've been great. Everyone's taken steps, but there's this huge question mark, and it's surrounded around their expensive, non-available starting goaltender most of the time, right? Like, you can chalk up everything to him not being available or him not playing well, whatever it is. They've sunk all this money into him. Every time Staios talks, he backs him, says that he gives us the best chance to be a contender. And I don't disagree. Like, his skill is undeniable when he's on his game. We saw it the last little bit. He's a very elite goaltender when he plays. The problem is he doesn't play enough. And that's obvious now through 2 seasons. This year's been a different story with the leave of absence. Like, that's a different absence, obviously. But the year before, he got injured a lot, and Forsberg had to play a lot. Levy comes in, and he shines like a star, and that's why they make the playoffs last season. Yep. So Ullmark has not played enough games to be considered a starter, even though they kind of gave him starter money. I think they need to keep him for the sole purpose of you lose that trade, probably because you're going to have to eat money, give out an asset, basically do what the Bruins did. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, you're not selling with that kind of value. And then we're looking at another Matt Murray situation. And I can just see a world here too. They trade Ullmark and he figures it out somewhere and wins another Vezina. That's how goaltending goes here. So my solution is they just need to go get another guy, and not a James Reimer, not a young project. They need to go take a swing on a guy who can play 45 games for them if need be. They need a 1B or a 1A to play with Linus Ullmark. Because you look at Ullmark's best season, when he won the Vezina, you don't win a Vezina by accident. He was outstanding for the Bruins that season. And we've seen flashes of it. So they need to go get another guy, because that year he had Swayman with him. And I know what everyone's going to say. It's like, that's going to be expensive. That's going to be expensive. I totally get that. But the way this team's built, the way they play under Travis Green, goaltending is imperative. You cannot have that weak of a goaltender every night, or that big of a question mark in availability. You can't be scrambling to sign James Reimer midseason to save your season next year. So that's why I say, you've got cap space. You don't have big deals to sign other than Jordan Spence. Spend money on a goalie. I don't care if it's the most expensive tandem in the league. This team's good enough to compete in the playoffs if they have a good goalie. And right now, Ullmark doesn't give you that enough consistently as his presence alone, or even when he's in the net. You got to find another guy. I don't know who it is. They got to find someone to play with him in a tandem. That's to me the most obvious answer. If there's a locker room issue that extends beyond the ice, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case either, then you got to look at moving him. But at this point, on paper, they got to get another goalie. That's priority number one, above a line mate for Timmy, above top 4 defensemen for me. They got to go find another goalie.
And I think you're right, Jack, but the only thing is then what happens with Levy? Because he needs waivers. And I don't know if we can live with ourselves if you get another goalie and you send Levy through waivers and a team claims him, and then he ends up turning into a Philip Gustafson or a Joey Decord, where you gave up on a young goalie too quickly. You didn't get proper assets for him, and he becomes a better starter than any of the guys you just got. And you've been flipping assets, trading guys for penny on the dollar to get rid of him, to bring in another guy that doesn't work, when all along you had that guy. And because I'm with you, I think for sure that is what you got to do. You got to find a 1B. I said it last offseason. I said, sign Alex Lyon. That's perfect, the goalie option I want. He's having an incredible year, and you could argue he's one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why Buffalo has figured it out, because he's come in there and been really steady for them. And he signed at a 2-year deal at $1.5 million. That would have been exactly what the Sens needed. That's what I was calling for. It didn't happen. Levy didn't work out. Hunter Shepard was not the insurance option they thought he could be. And then you end up signing James Reimer in a panic move. And sure, he's doing fine, but it's still too little too late here. So that's the one thing with the plan of, hey, just bring in another guy, is if you do that, you have to be comfortable with losing Levy Merrillainen on waivers, or thinking you have to put him through waivers and panic trading him and having a team have the leverage being like, well, we're only going to give you this little asset because we know if we wait, we can just get him on waivers. So that's where that becomes a scary idea. And maybe you're sitting there being like, who cares if our young goalie becomes a better goalie years down the road? We need to get a guy now and win now, and we can't let that scar of us giving up young goalies early and them turning out better stop us from doing what we need to do. But how many times can you do that before it's like, man, if we had a tandem of Joey Daccord and Philip Gustafsson, where would this team be?
Okay, right? So I do get what you mean, because the history, yeah, it's there for sure. The historic scars are there, but not for this front office. I should point out, they, for all intents and purposes, don't know about Joey Daccord and Philip Gustafsson. Like, they didn't have them in their grasp. My question then to you is it just, do you roll, like, you can't roll Levy and Ullmark going into next season? That'd be insanity. So obviously with Levy, there's going to be some sort of process here. Like, can they not sign him to a two-way this summer? Is that just out of the question, or is it because of leverage in a contract negotiation?
I'm not a cap guy. I don't know what stipulates him now no longer needing waivers, if I'm being completely honest, but I'm quite sure he's at a point contractually where he will now need waivers. Because remember, we talked about this being the last year where he needs waivers. And
yeah,
I'm sure someone can let me know in the chat. I can't keep track of that stuff. But
I will say,
sure that is the scenario.
I'll be the risky guy here. If you go get another guy who can play in the NHL and you got to put Levy on waivers, based on his play this season, I'd be shocked if someone claimed him. He was brutal this year.
If you're a rebuilding team and it costs you nothing, and you can have him play as a backup, and if you're
rebuilding, you'd get him to tank. He was so bad. He was unplayable.
That's fair too. You get a goalie that's going to cost you a little, and he can lose games. You don't care, right?
I think when it came to Gustafsson, that was a trade. That was a forced error that they did not need to make. Daccord expansion draft, like, obviously they go back and do that, but I'd say that when they were here, they didn't show quite what Levy showed in terms of either spectrum. Like, Levy was excellent last season, and he was terrible this season. So it's kind of
Gus had a flash in the pan similar to Levy, not the same stretch, but remember at the end of that 1 year, I don't have the stats in front of me. I could probably look it up, but like he was elite, not to the way Levy was, but he was right there. And I think that's why his trade value was high, and Minnesota was interested in him, because he had that quick stretch. And don't forget, the Sens made Joey Daccord available in the Seattle expansion draft because they chose to keep Gustafsson.
Yeah, listen, we're going down a Pierre Dorion path here. This is why I'm confident in what they're doing. Bruins are up 3-2, by the way. And Columbus has made it 2-1. This could be so brutal tonight, man. If that... Okay, I got to stop looking. I'm just going to throw my phone away when this period gets going. I'll let you go here soon, Pillsy, but I just want to kind of wrap up on that. Like, I think that if they do that, if they have that mindset with some good guys coming, like Riedler could be a prospect. I really like Lucas Beckman, obviously, as a rookie or as a first draft year player. Like, he's so young, way down the line here. But I was looking at the Penguins, and you look at a guy who's a UFA this summer, like Stuart Skinner. If you can get Skinner to a contract, I don't know what he's going to go for. Penguins probably don't want to let him go, to be honest, but if he's available, I know he's had his issues in the past in a tandem. He's obviously, his numbers are up and down, and he's also inconsistent. That's a guy I can see rolling in a tandem, like the way that he can get hot for stretches. That's all you need when you got a tandem, because that's all you need in the playoffs. It's a guy who's gone to the Stanley Cup Finals. However, he's gotten there. Like, that's a kind of goalie where it's not necessarily a Vezina caliber, he's one of the best in the league kind of guy, but someone who can support and push and challenge Ullmark and step up for him when he's down and not playing, because that's what they need. And if it's Levy, that'd be great. Awesome comeback story. But based on this season, I don't think it will be.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see what the Ottawa Senators decide to do in goal, because Steve Staios has his work cut out for him. I don't think there's an easy answer, and you're going to have to make a hard decision on Levi Marilyn, and you're going to have to make that decision now. This was the year where you could feel it out. They felt it out. It went terribly. Okay, send him down, but you're not going to have that luxury anymore.
I think if it was going better for him in Belleville too, I'd be a little more hesitant, but he's also been bad in Belleville.
He's turned it around a little bit in Belleville, but I mean, again, too little too late. Like it doesn't matter now.
Since Yakimchuk got called up, maybe. No, I'm kidding. I feel so bad for Yak that this is how his debut is happening, to be honest. The Detroit game was fun, but this is so ugly. The Sens are 2-18-2 when trailing after 2, by the way. And that's by any amount of goal. And now Timmy is laboring in the corner.
God damn. Jack, my only goal was to get out of this with no injuries.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's still out there.
He's still out there. Okay.
He, I know people think he's just faking it or whatever. He takes such a beating.
Yeah. And he plays a hard game.
Oh, yeah. He hits too much, according to
exactly.
The playoff panel. Yeah, we'll just maybe watch this power play. See what happens.
Let's see how this goes.
Cousins.
That was a nice move.
Like a bit more out of Dylan Cousins lately.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of a sag in his play.
Yep.
But obviously, because they're going to be compared for the rest of their careers, Sabres fans are not thrilled with Josh Norris. Here's Greg.
Ooh.
I just saw some posts. He's got one point in his last 7 games or something like that. And I saw Sabres fans be like, he's our highest paid forward. What's he doing? And I'm like, all right, here we go. This is the experience.
Yeah.
We'll see him on Thursday, actually.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And I was toying with boots on the ground on Saturday, but I may be looking at the playoff race
before making that decision.
Yeah, that might be a game time. I might need a rest on Saturday.
Hey, no one would blame you. All right, Jack. Well,
we'll leave it there, Pillsy. Appreciate you joining in such dire circumstances.
No problem.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Thanks, Pillsy. Appreciate you joining me, man. We will see you on the postcast, and onward and upward.
Yeah, just truck through it.
That is Brandon Pillar with a fresh tan from Florida. He was just boots on the ground in Tampa, and unfortunately not watching much better effort here tonight in Sunrise. And here we are for the third period, 6-2 Panthers, and it was almost 7-2. Matthew Tkachuk almost went through the legs. That would have been an all-time dagger. Yeah, I don't know what people thought about that offseason chat. I think that's where I stand, I think. And it's not because I'm like, I believe in Ullmark, he's the guy, blah, blah, blah. It's just they're kind of handcuffed, you know? They're handcuffed, so I'm not going to try and say that they should move him, because I think, like I said, you lose that trade, and then you got to find another goalie and probably 2 other ones. You're not going to find another starter like that. So then it just cuts your work out even more. So I think they roll back Ullmark next season, see what he's got. But yeah, I think they got to get another guy who can step in and play solid games, like 30, 35, 40 games for this team if need be. And probably if scheduled. I think a tandem is how Ullmark's going to thrive. Quite honestly, that's how he did it in Boston when he won the Vezina. So you just got to try and recreate that kind of formula, and then keep banking on the progression of your core here, which all season has been pretty remarkable, like we've said and talked about ad nauseum. So that's where I stand on the Batherson's eligible for an extension. And I'm not saying to go pay another goalie $8 million. It's not what I'm trying to get at, but obviously, I just mean get another guy who's maybe making 3, 4, or 5 on a longer term deal. I see people saying Wallstead. Sure. I don't think you're going to pry him out of Minnesota for nothing, but if Staios can work his magic for Wallstead, I'd be all over that. Good point there, Spanish Flea. I agree. I don't know what happened, man. I understand people throwing out the buyout numbers because they're not actually that debilitating, but Pilsy makes a good point. You're going to pay 2 goalies not to be here next year, and then you got to go find a goalie. Like you don't have anyone to play. Like we said, Levy is not good enough right now, and this might be reactionary, but I don't care if they lose him on waivers at this point. He was brutal this season. But I still think the plan should be to hang on to him, but kind of crazy. I felt like they've been playing a bit better here in the second and third, but the shots are still 27-15 for Florida. 15 shots is unlike this team. Can't really connect on passes right now. Yeah, like a guy like Stolars, I know we hate him because he ruined their playoff chances last year. He was the best player for the Leafs, but that could be a guy. It's 4-3 for Washington now. Philly's kind of pushing. I might actually throw that game on. I keep saying that and I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, folks, but this is the Sens watch party. Here's Greg. Bit of a 2-on-1. Amadio scores. Okay, 6-3. Stolars is injury prone, you're right. I don't know. There's not going to be a perfect option, but they just got to find someone else. Not to replace Ullmark, but to support and potentially play ahead of. Not that I'm saying Linus Ullmark is Sergei Bobrovsky, but Bob was terrible in Florida when he got there, if anyone remembers that. And then he found something the last few years, obviously, and he's been one of the best goalies in the league. Like, maybe it's that. Maybe you just got to find a way to support Ullmark better in the crease. And I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to absolve him because a lot of this is on his shoulders. And most of it is, to be honest, like this inconsistency, this whatever. And like, I think he said it, like when he talked to Claire or Hannah in that sit down interview where he was very open about his situation. He's aware of like him not like he said it, he's not prepared, like he's not in a good headspace. And so that's on him. And if that's the case, then let's pivot here. Or maybe it is as simple as just finding a Lassie Thompson getting a point on that one. Maybe it is as simple as just finding some sort of better spot for him. I don't know. Frederick Anderson, I don't hate that. Damien. There's guys they can bring in. Sabrango, Bennett. Decent save for Reimer. Hogberg. I'm on the Stuart Skinner train. I don't know if that's crazy, but I also doubt Pittsburgh will let him go after how he's played for them. But bring me Stuart Skinner. That'd be a crazy tandem. Oh my God. I could see that just being an absolute disaster. Skinner and Ullmark. Oh my God. Maybe I'm out to lunch, man. I'm just going delirious. In my head today, too, I was thinking, you know what? It'd be nice to have a game where I'm not stressed in the third period because I've been sitting here rocking back and forth, fidgeting. I feel like every live stream the last 7 games because they've been tight in the third period. But that wasn't the case and not in the way I expected. It was a decent defensive play from Yakimchuk. It was pretty sloppy. It's got to be a trip. Oh, nothing. Okay. Probably some demons in this building for Warren Fogle playing Game 7 for the Oilers 2 years ago. I'm sure. Lassie Thompson dancing out there. Oh, nice play. Oh, Zetterlund almost buried that. Thompson, bit of a howitzer. Good pressure. Nick Cousins, Eller, Matt and Paolo, Lassie Thompson, just the usual suspects. I have a petty reason why I don't want the Sens to score a certain amount of goals, but it's just if they lose this, Ullmark's got to wear it. He got off the hook a couple times. Actually, only once. He got pulled in Toronto and he wasn't in net for the game winner. So he didn't get the loss. That was Levy's, but he was brutal on that one too. So I feel like he deserves to wear the L in this one, letting in 5 in the first. Casual save from Reimer. I wonder if they go Reimer on Thursday. That'd be telling. 6-3, middle of the third period. Let's check that scoreboard. Sabres up on the Islanders. Penguins still beating the Red Wings. Caps have made it 5-3. Still 2-1 Hurricanes. That Hurricanes and CBJ game will determine the night, I think, because the rest kind of look like they're okay. We could be looking at a rare out-of-town scoreboard night. We'll see. We'll see. Even if Columbus wins and everyone else loses, you can wrap your head around that being okay. Missed opportunity, sure, for the Sens, but all things considered, like I said earlier, hey, a last-minute regulation loss counts just the same as this one in the standings. Kind of. Brandon Bussey, people are saying. I don't know, man. I just think they need to bring in not even a veteran. Like, I don't want like a Cam Talbot or like someone who's going to come in and just be a good presence and give the guys, like Ullmark's not a rookie. He doesn't need that. He needs a good option to play with him. He can't be a starter. It's pretty clear throughout his career now. He's never started more than 50 games. Even in today's day and age, like that's low. Devin Levi. Yeah, I know, like I like the goalie, don't get me wrong. I like Levi. I need an established guy. I need an established guy who's bounced around maybe a little bit, who can play games, who can play and like get on a hot streak and play 10, 12 in a row if need be. I know people are saying Saros. That would be a 1-for-1 situation. That would not be a play him with Ullmark. That's a that's a different guy. DeSmith, David Riddick. Yeah, like Damien, I'm on the Skinner train. I'm a Stuart Skinner guy. Jamie McLennan, maybe. Spencer Knight. There's no way Spencer Knight's leaving Chicago. Lyon would have been amazing. Yeah, I mean, he's propelling Buffalo right now. I know they're going with UPL, but Buffalo ran 3 goalies, for God's sake. And they might win the division. I just feel like in these first 2 years here, like of Ullmark, the sample's big enough. He just can't be a starter. There's still a good goalie there. There's 2 things. He can't handle the pressure and he can't handle the workload. And I think that's fair to say publicly with what we know. Yakimchuk back with it. Brady right to Verhaeghe. Yikes. Sloppy turnover there from Kachuk. And he just feeds Timmy. There we go. Kachuk, Stutzla, Batherson out there right now. Spence. They've got me like interested. I'm not thinking they're coming back, but I'm still watching. Jake Allen. People saying Binnington. Binnington, Ullmark would be like the most polarizing, juxtaposed goalies of all time. That would be crazy. Yeah, let's start talking about goalies. Let's start talking about second goalies. Bring back Forsey. Does Matthew Tkachuk have 4 points? Yikes. Yeah, nothing from the captain tonight. I think the biggest problem for Ullmark is like he doesn't stink. Like he's not a bad goalie. That's the most frustrating thing I think is like he makes this team really good when he's on his game. Some of the guys that we're mentioning here in the chat are just not strong. Like Binnington is not a good goalie anymore. The sample's there, right? Like I'd take a Stuart Skinner over a Montembeault. That's what I would do for sure. Like Skinner over Montembeault, no doubt. People are pointing out the Leafs. Like if they want to move like Joseph Wall, I'd be all over Joseph Wall. You know, that's a guy I'd be all over as a tandem with Ullmark. That's perfect. Or Stolarz. I know Stolarz a bit more injury concerned, but still, like a guy who can go in, play you games, and win you games consistently. Stolarz was excellent last season, and he won them that series. And I know we all know that. Devin Cooley in Calgary. Again, that'd be a bit of a risk, I think, just because he's having this season in Calgary where he's seen a lot of pucks, but can you play behind a good team? I don't know. Yeah, this is good. Like those guys are going to be on the move, and I wonder if that new GM is a little more willing to trade with Ottawa, maybe. Not Samsonov, nope. There's a lot of goalies out there, though. A lot of people being named. Yeah, Josh, I get that. I get what you're saying, but I think it's more of a. I mean, I don't know. Like it could just continue. I don't know, man. I don't know. They just need something. They need something. Vladar has had a good season, I think. I don't know, man. It's not my job to figure it out. I'll put it that way. I just got to sit here and be happy or upset with what they do, but they can't roll into next season with Ullmark and some journeyman backup. That can't be what happens. Would I move the first for Saros? I again, like I wouldn't move the first for Saros if Ullmark's still here. If Ullmark's gone, then yes. If that makes any sense. E-bug every night from Specialist. Oh yeah, they can't trade the pick. That's my bad. If I was GM, I'd be closer to Pierre Dorion than I am to Steve Staios. I'll put it that way. I know, like, obviously the contract, I think, is the worst part about Ullmark, but I still stand by the trade. Like, he made this team better, and he's better than Corpusalo ever was. And I think at the time, like, it helped them make playoffs last year. And like I said, he's a good goalie. It's just the availability. There's Brady coming in. Finds Timmy. Sabrango just blocked that. Unfortunately, really liking Sabrango tonight for the Panthers. Kachekov. Yeah, Carolina's got some guys, although Carolina's goaltending is brutal. Speaking of which, shall we check? Nervous. Sabres still winning. Boston's up big. They're winning that one. Bruins are going to make the playoffs. We are not catching the Bruins. That is signed, sealed, and delivered. 5-4 for Washington still. 10 minutes left. Hurricanes still in the intermission. Could be a bad night, man. Chris, do we think Ullmark is a lock? Like at this point, yeah. There's no indication that they're looking to move him. I think Friedman said on a podcast that Staios checked the goalie market, but I don't think that was to move Ullmark. Oh, Yakimchuk just took a headshot. Big headshot. Oh, he's not okay. He's stumbling. That was dirty. Former Sen Noah Gregor, too. I got him right in the head. I don't think that was intentional. Yak just kind of moved out of the way at the last second. That's not good. Another defenseman down. Ooh, he does not look all right. Oh, I hate to see that. That sucks. Oh, hate seeing that. Needs help off the ice that badly. That's brutal. Just got him right in the head. They reviewing it? Ugh, I hate seeing that stuff. Similar feeling to when Halliday got hit in the post. Remember that? Against Vegas? Brutal to see. I hope Yak's okay, and that's not a big injury, but I mean, it's obviously his head. When he tried to get up and he stumbled back, that's when you know. Head injuries are scary, man. And yet another defenseman goes down the tunnel for the Ottawa Senators. And it does look like they're reviewing it. Hey, if it's a 5, it's a 5? There's Paul Maurice. Hey, listen. Crazier things have happened in the NHL. You want to talk about a chance to get back in the game? Even to get 2, get 1. Come on, power play. That'd be crazy. Panthers have a good PK. I don't expect much here, but someone did call it. Who was the comment we put up? Pilsy put it up. I think it was Liam. I might be missing the name. And I said it's crazier to predict a 5-minute power play than a comeback. Obviously, hope Carter Yakimchuk is okay. That's paramount before all else. Someone said I can feel Shorthanded goal coming. Panzer, to answer your question, yes. So with a major penalty, if you score, it keeps rolling. That's why we're excited here. They could score 3. Can you imagine? Now I'm excited. They're going to hurt me again. They're going to hurt me again. They are going to score a shorty. See people saying they're going to score a shorthanded goal. They definitely are. It's exactly what's going to happen. But we're going to get excited for this commercial break. 5-minute power play coming up. Come on. Carter Yakimchuk took one for the team. They got to answer. Huge moment for the Ottawa Senators here. In a game that should not have a huge moment. This was over after the first. But a 5-minute major. Even if you get one, it's a 2-goal game with some time left. Maybe. I don't know, man. Call me delusional. I'll put on my delusion hat. Should I put on the rally cap? Rally cap time? How do I even do this? I'm ruining my hat. Rally cap. God, my head's so big. There we go. Rally cap. Let's go. 5-minute power play, down 3 in the third period. Timmy was on the ice there already, and they go offside. Bad start. I might regret this. I might regret this big time. They won the draw, at least. Cousins wins it all the way back into their zone. They basically just ice it on themselves, but that's okay. I know Yak would have been on the power play, but I think they took him off of it earlier and put Spence out there, and then they don't get it. I think I'll take the rally cap off if they get to 3 minutes without a shot on goal. Yeah, can't even get in the zone. I'm embarrassed that I put this on. There we go. Second unit out there now. Oh, that was loose. All right, took them a minute to get back to the offensive zone, but when this draw gets set up a little bit, just give me a goal. Make me believe like even slightly. Rally cap is definitely a baseball thing too. Looks weird, eh? Top unit just did nothing. So here comes unit 2. Greg, Pinto, Zetterlund, Giroux, Thompson. Thompson's got a bomb. Greg lost the draw. And Sabrango gets it out. Man, it'd be nice to have Sabrango right now. Snake of a claim from Florida. They have one shot. And Florida gets it down. All right, I'm taking this off. It was fun for a bit. So let me have something. Ekblad's a little shaken up after that. Cousins. Now they get set up a little bit. Batherson with space. All that puck movement for that chance. Here's Timmy up high. Brutal. Here's a 2-on-1. They might actually score a shorty. Pretty sad power play. Not going to chalk up them losing this game to this power play, but just tough to see. Tough to see. I went quiet there. Sorry, folks. Appreciate this. Oh. Appreciate that. Thanks, Buckluck. It was fun. And look. Season's not done. This just sucks tonight. Islanders made it 2-2 late in the third. Great. Capitals still winning. And the Blue Jackets tied it. Oh, yeah. This might be a disaster. Could be a disaster of a night. That sucks. Who got the trip? Oh, Forsling. So 5-on-3 for 1:04. This will be even worse if they don't score. Get at least one. Out of town scoreboard all of a sudden looks bad. Just like that. So this might suck. Got 5 forwards out there. Giroux, Stützle, Cousins, Batherson, Tkachuk. They pulled the goalie. 6-on-3 for the Sens. Tkachuk blocked by Sabrango, and it comes out. Gotta have some urgency here. Batherson and Tkachuk play catch up top. Timmy. Brady tried a low angle one-timer, and it comes out. Pretty bad. Pretty bad 5-on-3. 6-on-3, sorry. Basically just played catch the whole time. Here comes Stützle. Just blocking everything. Like, they can't even get a shot through, for God's sake. Brutal. What a brutal power play. Fitting end to that game. And they actually might get, like, for the reason I wasn't panicking is because the scoreboard out of town was not, wasn't that bad. Okay, Sabres just took the lead again. That's helpful. That helps things. Hopefully they can hold on to that. Because, yeah, the Blue Jackets tied it. That game is tight because it was almost looking like a perfect night. Timmy off the post. They're jamming for it. That was actually a, embarrassing power play. Nice shot by Stützle there at the end, but I know Timmy's frustrating on the power play sometimes, but he's like the only guy who looks like he's got urgency sometimes. It's infuriating. That was a close chance. Like, no one else looks like they wanted it on that power play. It was 6-on-3, for God's sake. They didn't even get a shot on goal. Sabrango looks very good right now, by the way. Empty net. Two minutes left. Just put us out of our misery. Oh, they almost just scored on their own net. For Hagee for a hat trick? Nothing. Top guy's been out there a while. No one home. Brady just rimmed it around to no one. I mean, this at this point is just stat padding. Minute 09. Almost done. Almost done, folks. The torture is almost over. This game was over from the 8-second mark. It's actually brutal, that power play, though. And now Yakimchuk has got a concussion for sure. They're battling. Give them that. Give some of them that. $20 seconds left. It's funny. This could have just been a back and forth game. Bad third period, 3 goals, 6-3 loss. But this was 5-0 after the first. Like, the Panthers played 20 minutes, and that was it. What an embarrassing loss at this time of year. All right, folks. Won't keep you long. Postcast is soon. Stay tuned. Appreciate everyone sticking around here. We had a good audience for that one, despite the sadness. That linesman's last game. I'm blanking on the name. Obviously, feel bad about that. Brady showing him some love. Yeah, Sens lose 6-3 in an unacceptable game. Let's put it that way. Nice to see them showing some love there. Islanders and the Flyers are both down a goal late in regulation on the road. Hope those hold. We'll reconfigure tomorrow, talk about the out-of-town scoreboard. Appreciate everyone sticking around here. That was a fun time, even though that was a garbage game from the Ottawa Senators and from Linus Ullmark. Matthew Tkachuk has 4 points against his little brother's team. And the Sens lose another game. Back-to-back regulation losses. That's 3 losses in a row to end the month of March. April is tomorrow. And they got a 4-game homestand coming up. So let's see what they can do. All right, folks. That's been the live watch party brought to you by our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Head there Thursday. Send shuttle to the CTC. Appreciate everyone stopping by. And again, stay tuned for the postcast. Appreciate all of you. Have a good night.